for Rafa Marin, who is Real Madrid's academy graduate. He's actually on a season-long loan from Napoli. Just 4 appearances as they won Scudetto last season.
Just looking at Christian Norgard, obviously he's playing as the holding midfield player, the deep of the central, and that's the 4th time he's actually made an interception. And I just think, what do we pay for him? 10 million? I think that could be one of the signings of the season, because I've seen him for Brentford the last 4 seasons. I know when Buemo and Vissa obviously understandably take all the headlines and plaudits because scoring hundreds of goals, but when he didn't play for Brentford, they were half the side, because playing in that midfield area, he's strong, he's very good tactically, he's good on the ball, and he makes loads of interceptions, just little toe-ins where he stops the opposition from playing.
It's no coincidence that he was Thomas Frank's most used player at Brentford, ever reliable. 262 appearances he made for the now Tottenham boss.
Don't say that. Don't put the mockers on him. Just say, yeah, he's always available. Don't mention injuries.
There's Villareal tapping into midfield, the diminutive playmaker that he is. Okay, we'll take that one down from the sky. Lewis Skelly with it. He's finding Gay on the edge of the box, off the post. I didn't know too much about the rebound, and it will be eventually turned in. And it's Nicola Pepe on his return to Emirates Stadium. A muted celebration from him. A rare foray forwards for Villareal. But inside the opening 16 minutes, it is the visitors who take the lead. It's Arsenal 0, Villareal 1.
Yeah, it was a very good play from Nicola Pepe on that right-hand side. Lewis Skelly's got to get himself a lot closer. Doesn't get close enough, and he rolls it out to Gay on the edge of the 18-yard box. Again, Gay has got far too much space when it comes to him, and he gets his shot away. He actually looks like it's going to go inside David Raya's right-hand post. Ball comes back out the post, put off the post, and they recycle it again. Again, we're not quick enough to get to the first and second balls. Just really good play from Villareal. You see there, the ball comes back off of David Raya's back. Cardona gets it back in again. Kivior is trying to shield the ball, and instead of shielding it, Kivior should actually just be swiping it away with his left foot. Nicola Pepe just runs round the back of him and gets his right-footed strike in, goes high into David Raya's net. Good play from Villareal's point of view, just really poor defending where we switched off, and you've got to make sure you go and engage the ball a lot quicker.
Nicola Pepe capitalising on some uncharacteristic defending by Arsenal. Ivorian did score 27 times in 112 appearances, I should say, over 3 seasons. No real surprise to see him on the score sheet, but Arsenal would have wanted to do better defensively than that, that's for sure. Especially with the game, the way that the game has gone so far.
I think Young might try and claim it. I'm not sure if it just, as Pepe got his right foot shot away, might just come off his heels.
Young was the man who opened the scoring against Leeds United last time out. A promising young attacker. Was his foul on Lewis Skelly.
It's pre-season. I know, things are a little bit rusty, but just Lewis Skelly in general play has got to make sure he gets to Nicola Pepe quicker and goes and engages him, because then it stops him picking his pass.
Martinelli's ball is just a bit too deep. We spoke about how Villareal's last Emirates Stadium visit was not a fond memory for Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. Saw his side knocked out of the Europa League semi-final by his predecessor Unai Emery. Goalless draw here 4 years ago following Villareal's 2-1 first leg win in Spain. It's to end Arsenal's 25-season run of appearing in European competition. Also propelled the Spanish sides to their first ever continental title. And they've got their tails up here. Pepe, again fancying a run at Lewis Skelly. Always looking to get onto his left foot, and this time Lewis Skelly uses his body to good effect.
Yeah, it's good defending in the end from Lewis Skelly, but we got caught again, 2v2. Obviously, I know we want to go and press, want to make sure we engage Villareal at the edge of our own box. We've got to make sure that we're not outnumbered. So I'd just like to see just one of the midfield players just drop a little bit deeper. You mentioned about, obviously, Villareal. That's the first goal they've ever scored away against us, whether it's at Highbury or at the Emirates. And they played the last ever Champions League game at Highbury.
Villareal, that's lovely. Away from Cardona, who then pulls him down very cynically. Gerard Moreno is just being called over here, the Villareal captain, to have a word with his left back.
Yeah, it's brilliant play from Ranieri, lovely little nutmegs. And then obviously Cardona, just out of desperation, ends up pulling it back. I think Sam Bout, the referee, just said to Moreno, the Villareal captain, I know this is a friendly and I don't want to book players, and I don't want to send players off, but just have a little word in the shell, like, because the next time he will be booked.
For the second time in this half, Arsenal have a free kick in this sort of area.
Let's hope that Ranieri's got the right club out of the bag.
Daintily done by Ranieri, and the header back to the goalkeeper, Willis Jr.
Yeah, it's a better delivery this time from Ranieri. He was thinking about the free kick before, and you think there's no way that I'm going to chip it up in the air with too much loft, so I just eased it in. And in the end, looked like it came off Foyt straight into Junior's hands.
Looks like he's enjoying himself out there, though, Ethan Ranieri. Arteta will be using him in a significant role, you imagine, this season. It looks as though he's going to be much more central. Much of his football last time out was spent on the right wing.
As you say, he's in the Odegaard position at the moment in the inside right. That's obviously he prefers, where he's got brilliant technique in tight areas.
That's a lovely searching ball. Martinelli's first touch wasn't too bad. The second one invited the challenge from Santiago Mourinho. It's Gay. Back by Ranieri. He's allowed to travel. And has Saka inside the penalty area, onto his left foot. Low save by Luis Jr.
Really good play there from Ranieri again. Just releasing Bukayo Saka on the right-hand side. Just fainting if he's going to cross it with his right, comes back on his left. I still think he might have been caught in two minds, whether he's going to try and whip it inside Junior's far post or cross it. And so he didn't really quite get the connection he wanted to. Just see that his standing foot just slipped. In the end, it was a decent save from Junior.
Martinelli was sniffing around inside the 6-yard box, waiting to pounce if the goalkeeper wasn't able to hold it. Here's the goal scorer, Pepe. Given away by Danny Parejo, but there's a late challenge on him by Arsenal's midfielders.
I think Parejo's actually spent more time on the floor than what he has standing on the 2 feet.
Incredibly, Perry, it's been 17 years since that ill-fated loan spell that he had from Real Madrid to QPR. Still playing. Villareal takes charge. Marino. Odegaard finds the Spaniard again. Towards Martinelli, who went for the spectacular and that will bounce through rather harmlessly in the end.
Again, we worked it really well, getting into wide areas. Just that final ball, final decision making, just not quite clicking at the moment. And Villareal, to be fair to them, they've actually defended really well. So Junior's only really had one save to make, though, down to his right-hand side from Bukayo Saka.
Moreno for Pepe. Okay. Moreno peeled off wide. There's an inviting crossing towards Etta Eon. Moreno again. He picks out Cardona. If got there ahead of David Raya.
Yeah, we saw then Pat Gay just getting a little bit too much space in that midfield area. Comes out to Pepe. Again, he can just switch play from right to left out to Cardona, just trying to whip the ball across 6-yard box. In the end, it was good defending from Kivior, because sometimes you have to defend the space at near post. Exactly what he did.
Will deliver this one. It comes from that left-hand side, away by Gyökeres. Kai Havertz will be useful in both boxes, defending and attacking set pieces. And look at the space now for Lewis Skelly. Gyökeres has made the run into the channel. Swede was beaten to it by Mourinho.
Just a little bit of frustration there from Victor Gyökeres. Hasn't really been involved in the general play. He's closed down well a couple of times. Just made a nice little run there to the left-hand side, where Lewis Skelly maybe could have rolled it to him a lot earlier. Just come inside, then you end up condensing the play.
Intent on playing out from the back. I think it does. It's a brief moment of panic among their back line. Indeed, they surrender possession as Marcelino throws his arms up inside the technical area. White gets in towards Martinelli, who can't guide his header on target.
Yeah, I think Martinelli could actually brought that down on his chest. Good link-up play from White and Saka on this right-hand side. Ben White going on the overlap. Nice little weighted pass from Bukayo Saka. Allows Ben White just to stand up at the far post. And say just a little bit of better communication. Mourinho knows that obviously Martinelli's come in behind him. I think I could actually chest it down. He's just trying to get his head to it. But we've been in good positions in the wide areas. Just haven't been able to pick out the right pass.
Villareal living dangerously at the back. Those conventional passes from their Brazilian goalkeeper there, as Lewis Skelly can get going. Ever so slightly ahead of Winery. And Saka was coming back from an offside position.
Yeah, really good pass there from Miles Lewis Skelly, making the interception. Again, getting to the edge of the box. Just that little bit of quality that's lacking. It's a little bit rusty in pre-season. Villareal still intent from playing it out the back. With Foyt actually just coming in the centre-half position.
Gay is able to pick out Sami Cardona. Again, Norgaard's nipping in, not once but twice. Quietly and effectively having a very good game at the base of Arsenal's midfield. White. Perez is pushed over, 5-1 points.
Yeah, Jokeris did really well there, just getting his body between foot and the ball. So again, another free kick, probably a little bit too central to feed it into the 18-yard box. So we just got to come out with a little bit of imagination, see where Swevenberg is. Because Jorvet just obviously trying to get his message across.
Familiar figures at that far post for the Gunners. Antonelli outside the penalty area as well, if you want to add a fourth. Arsenal reverse it. Saka. Waneri. Saka continues. And there's Norgard. Well off balance when he struck it.
Yeah, I just thought it might be a little bit too central, just trying to change the angle. Coming out to this right-hand side, Ben White, and then again to Bukayo Saka. Said there, ball dropping down, Norgard completely off balance.
Moreno. Moreno had to be careful. Tidy play in midfield by Danny Parejo. Picks up possession again.
It's good play from the captain, Moreno. Just make sure he keeps hold of the ball, dropping a little bit deep into the centre circle.
I'm not afraid of popping the passes around, are they?
Yeah, well, you see there, we see Parejo sort of playing in the 10th position.
Lovely flick from Pat Gay. Nero just a bit too much on it. Final return ball.
Yeah, just Pat Gay and Parejo just swapping positions. Parejo just dropping a little bit deeper. Just coming into Pat Gay, great little Cruyff flick into Parejo, but just can't quite pick the right pass, easy me to say.
That's a mouse moment there. The stadium took a big, deep breath in. Villareal got away with the pass across the face of his own goal. Marin.
They just look at Villareal when they're in possession, actually go to a back three. And Cardona just plays basically as a left wing back on this left-hand side. He's been the fullback has been more advanced.
Nice ball over the top by Alberto Melero to find his former Las Palmas teammate, and that was an excellent save initially by David Raya, but then tapped in from close range by Eta Ion, who now has goals in back-to-back games on English soil. Leeds United at the weekend. Arsenal today. He is forcing his way into Marcelino's plans.
Yeah, we said it was Cardona was playing in miles more advanced position. There he actually comes into the inside left position. Nobody stays with the runner. Just gets his head up, comes back to Pereiro. Just in the end, it's a really good save from David Raya. Just gets a big left hand to it, and the ball just scoops up in the air, just dropped in at the far post, and as all good centre forwards do, you make sure you're following the rebound. De Jong just has a simple tap in. Again, it was just really sloppy defending from ourselves. No one going with the run of Cardona, who's been their most productive player in the forward areas from that left back position.
Villareal look to have a bit more momentum in their pre-season. First La Liga game of the season is the Santi Cazorla derby against Real Oviedo in the Blues' first top division game in 24 years. Just to give an indication of how long Santi's career has gone on for. That was 2 years before he actually made his professional debut for Villareal in 2003. It seems incredible to think that not only is Santi still playing at the age of 40 years old, especially after 636 days out, 11 operations and contracting gangrene as well, he's also set up for a fairy tale finish in his career. And someone very much at the start of theirs, Luis Skelly. Martinelli managed to find a pocket of space and get to the byline too. Gyökeres underneath it. Luis Skelly able to force the corner kick.
Good defending from Villareal, just making sure they get to the ball very quickly. This time it was Martinelli just trying to go inside out of Nicolas Pepe. Then this ball comes back in. Good block by Pat Gay. Just hits him on the backside. Just loops up, goes for the corner. Over on the left-hand side. Martinelli's going to take it in, swinging. He's got to make sure he misses the first man.
Every Arsenal player inside that box starting their run at the far post. Martinelli hangs one up. There's Norgard! And there is a first goal in Arsenal red and whites for Christian Norgard, who has been imperious defensively. And he's popped up with a goal here to get Arsenal back into this tie.
Well, it's just Christian Norgard coming into the far post, and he's false nose and glasses. No one picking him up. Really good delivery from Martinelli. Declan Rice just feeding it to the far post. Christian Norgard completely unmarked at the far post, and it's a very good technical area. You make sure of all that time you've got, you head it down and heads it at Luis Junior's feet. Gives him absolutely no chance just to get us back in the game, because it all a bit flat in the Emirates, and the crowd needed something to get their teeth into, and Norgard's given them that.
When he signed, a lot was made of his threats from set pieces. I'm sure Nicolas Aubert was rubbing his hands together when he saw that he had another potential target inside the area to aim for. He just needed someone to put it on his head, and Gabriel Martinelli has delivered one of the more inviting corners that you will have seen this season. Perfect to be headed home.
Another little bonus there for Nicolas Aubert. Another mural going on outside the Emirates as we speak. But that was a very much, wasn't it, a Declan Rice delivery from Martinelli. Straight out the playbook. Just really, really sloppy defending from Villareal. Just Norgard completely unmarked at the far post, and a very good technical header. I was just looking at Villareal, see Foyt coming and playing in the centre half position, Moreno gone and at right back. We thought they would swap, but I think just looking at him, everywhere that Gyökeres has gone in this first half, Foyt has virtually followed him.
Martinelli trying to get in behind. Luis Junior quick off his line. Moreno. Give your touch tight to him. That's the benefit of the doubt as well.
Just looking at the far post, Kivior and Moreno being the blockers with Saliba. And to be fair, Norgard actually hasn't come round the back post. He just stood on the far post on the right far corner of the 6-yard box. He just made sure he had to keep his composure. And I know it's only a friendly, but that'll give him a real good feeling getting his first goal for Arsenal.
Here comes the, I was going to say long throw from Kivior, longer throw. Still didn't quite find its intended targets as Lewis Skelly is brought down by Etta Young.
You've got to make sure, if you're pushing everybody away from you, that you have a long throw and you make sure the worst ways out it gets into 6-yard box.
A long way out of position then, Arsenal. They just have got away with one. There is Kivior. Marino. Goes Gay again. Long stride in midfield.
Been very impressive out there, Pat Gay. Obviously just playing as the anchor in midfield with out of possession. Trejo just dropping alongside him. So their movement and interchange has been very, very good when they've been in possession. They just go back in now to a 4-2-3-1 formation.
White. Saliba over the top. Saka. Really bounced favourably for him. He will for Marino. Martinelli. Switching places with Victor Gyökeres. Point in the way. Martinelli out-muscled.
Can feel the air of expectancy raised when it comes to Victor Gyökeres. Just got it onto his right foot. Again, it was good defending from Villareal, making sure they're going engaging the ball, just blocking the shot.
Murray. Marino, who is a 2-time Zara Trophy winner. Well, awarded that for being the highest La Liga scorer. Did have his worst ever season in front of goal last year, just 3 in 17 appearances, and I guess Marcelino is asking him to play a much deeper role. Villareal's all-time record goal scorer, so now popping up almost as the link man between midfield and attack.
Yeah. So Young is the one who gives them the focal point. Pepe gives them that width on that right-hand side.
And here he is now, the Ivorian, Lewis Skelly. Doesn't know whether to stay or go. Did enough there. Stood his ground, got the block in.
Well, looked like there might have been a clash. Didn't know whether he was going to stay or should he go. In the end, he decided to go. And there was a clash, and he made sure he won the ball back.
Gyökeres. Darting infield, staying up as well. Got a bit of a nibble on the way through. Could have gone down, but he's very honest.
Sure, just says he cut inside Pat Gay. I think if that's in the Premier League, he goes down. But because it's pre-season, obviously, new signing, he wants to get himself a goal. He thought he'd stay on his feet, try and get his shot away.
Saka beaten to it. Sammy Cardona emerges with the ball. Nothing given.
Just see the link-up play on the left-hand side. Lewis Skelly. Just see there, Reno just dangling his foot out 100% if that's in the Premier League. Gyökeres goes down because it's a penalty. He just wants to get his goal, stays on his feet, but in the end, Villareal defended it really well.
Martinelli. Gyökeres on the penalty spot now. Martinelli forced infield, does go to grounds. Referee unmoved. Villareal given the opportunity to counter with Pepe.
Sam Barrett, the referee, just wants to keep the flow of the game. Martinelli does really well. Cuts inside Moreno. Just gets himself in the 18-yard box. Now just a little coming together. Martinelli looking for the contact. To be fair to Moreno, he does really well because he makes sure that he doesn't try and nibble, doesn't try and get the ball. Good decision from Sam Barrett, the referee.
Well, despite Christian Norgard scoring his first Arsenal goal in front of the home fans here at Emirates Stadium, it's Villareal who go into the break ahead, thanks largely to former gunner Nicolas Pepe. He opened the scoring, and then it was youngster Etta Iong, just 21 years old, who was able to double their advantage. Like I said, Norgard pulled one back late into that second half, but at half-time, it is Arsenal 1, Villareal 2.
Right, so there we have it. The first half against Villareal. We are 2-1 down. A lot to unpack there, Clarky.
Yeah, plenty to unpack. Yeah, look, you always say results in pre-season don't matter.
Yeah.
You normally say that when you get beaten. So yeah, like we don't want to lose this game. I expect Mikel to sort of try and get the boys going in the second half to retrieve this, because obviously after losing to Spurs in Hong Kong, you don't want to get beaten again, especially at home. So yeah, look, defensively for the 2 goals, slack. You know, I think that they were certainly goals that Arsenal will look back on and think, could we have done something a little bit better? But the response was good, and it hasn't been a bad performance.
No.
Arsenal have had some really bright moments, but Villareal are punished just a couple of sloppy mistakes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I agree. I don't think we've been bad necessarily, but I think maybe a little bit of pre-season sloppiness and maybe just not quite as sharp on your toes as you're used to. And as we're talking about the 2 goals, very similar in the way they kind of came about. Obviously, either side of the pitch. The first one coming from the ex-Arsenal man himself, Nicolas Pepe, who is a very tricky player, and obviously we saw it there. But we can kind of point to possibly just a little bit of lack of like tracking back and that sort of thing, and the gaps left in the midfield for them to go through.
So obviously the switch of play goes to Pepe. Miles Lewis-Skelly gets out there, doesn't really do anything wrong particularly, but it's the pass inside to the player. And there you're asking, can a centre-half step out and see that a little bit earlier and make an attempt to block? Could Christian Norgard from defensive midfield slide across and react? It was just a reaction to that long pass. Did everyone, funnily enough, funnel across quickly enough? The answer is no, and that's why Villareal were able to score. And then if you fast forward to the second goal, it's the left back that makes a sort of an underlapper. He pops up unexpectedly, and there you've probably got to look at White and Saka and say, well, one of you has got to see that run.
You've got to follow the man,
And we were, again, a little bit slow to react, and they end up punishing us. So, look, Mikel won't be happy with the nature of those goals. But it's better to make those mistakes now than against Man United.
For sure. And I'm sure as well he will be looking at not only us giving them the space to be able to make those runs in behind our defence, but also when they take the shot, is then saved really well from David Raya. And then I think the reaction to that, Mikel might be a little bit disappointed with, just because I think everyone was a little bit flat-footed and no one really maybe stepped up and claimed it to be theirs in the box.
Yeah, I would say with that one, it was just a brilliant save.
Yes.
The guy follows in the rebound. I wouldn't pin the second goal on anyone. No. The first goal, I do think maybe, Kivior can just put his foot through it and clear it, or can Miles Lewis-Skelly just drop in goal side to make it harder for Nicola Pepe to score that goal. But look, these are small mistakes that Villareal have punished. But I would say that those two goals, and it's obviously a big deal, but those two goals are really the only two negatives from the performance.
Yeah, for sure. It's not all, it might sound like it, but it's not all doom and gloom here. There are plenty of positives to talk about as well, because as Clarkey says, I think their two goals are basically really the only two bits of serious possession they had. And apart from that, we were quite comfortable, and we were obviously trying to penetrate. You might see Gunnosaurus walk into frame now, so please excuse Gunnosaurus for stealing the show. It's lovely, isn't it? Are you a fan? When are you going to have the kit on?
Not enough cash.
Not enough yet. But don't worry, Gunnosaurus will be wearing this beautiful thing.
Gunnosaurus must be earning all sorts.
Yeah. We don't know the exact terms of the contract, but he's doing all right. He's on the pitch, and we are.
He can afford this.
I'll give him mine after. But the positives from the first half as well. We said from the start, Ethan Nwaneri just seemed on it from the very first minute.
Oh, he looked really sharp, didn't he? He looks lean. He looks stronger, I think, in this pre-season. He just physically looks a little bit different. And what I liked about him was the way he goes to past players. He did it 2 or 3 times early on. And it wasn't just that movement where he goes past someone. It's then making the right decision after it. And he slipped in, I think, Saka for a chance. A couple of other good pieces of play from him as well. So particularly, I would say the first half, Ethan Nwaneri was head and shoulders Arsenal's best player.
And also, I think it was quite nice for us to see a different sort of number 10. Because obviously, Martin being the club captain, being an absolutely incredible number 10 himself, seeing someone who's maybe Ethan, because he spent a lot of time out on the wings as well, used to cutting inside and kind of jinking past people. It was quite nice to see that in full effect, and him bringing others into play.
Look, we want players to commit opponents. You commit them, it opens up space not only for you but for somebody else, because if you beat a player, someone else has got to come out of position to come and close you down, which means someone else is in space. So ball carriers are going to be really important for us this season, and Ethan Nwaneri is a great ball carrier. So I was impressed with him. I thought that both wingers actually had the good moments. Martinelli looked sharp early on. Saka had some good runs as well. Looked really powerful and positive. There was that one moment here with where Nwaneri puts him in and he chops it back, and it's sort of a cross shot that's saved. That was good play. And I would say that the combination with Ben White has really, really worked again, hasn't it?
And I think we missed that quite a bit last season. With 2 seasons ago, it was such a powerful tool to see Martin, Ben, and Bukayo combining, and we see those overlaps and underlaps and inside passes coming onto it,
Yeah.
and just to be able to see this is really the first glimpse we've had of it in many months, and it's a delight to see.
Yeah, well, I thought we nearly got hit there. I hope no one chips it over the crossbar, lands on my head. But brilliant. So we're right in the thick of the action.
Yeah.
But no, with the first pre-season friendly against Milan, I thought that White was superb.
Yes.
And the way that he linked up with Saka that day was great. We saw not as much of a combination in the next two games, but here today, I think they've worked brilliantly together. There was one time where actually Saka played in White on this sort of overlap and he gets to the byline. That was fantastic. White's been really assertive, I think.
Yeah.
He's sort of reading the game, winning the ball either by an interception or a challenge. I think he's been one of our best players in pre-season, Ben White.
Yeah, I think when we have a fit and healthy Ben White, I think he's always one of the best performers. He's so consistent.
Well, he wasn't fit at the end of last season, was
No.
he? You could tell he wasn't right.
Yeah.
But he looks fit and sharp now.
Yeah, and hopefully going forward for the new season, we keep him nice and fit, nice and healthy. His combinations with Ricardo.
Yeah, him and Timber, they'll share game time, I'm sure.
Yeah, and also talking of, well, before we get on to Victor Gyökeres, because we're, interesting first half, we'll talk about our goal. Came in from the left-hand side.
Set piece
In-swinger.
FC.
I mean, that's the thing. Villareal, we don't play them every week, so maybe they're not as used to the other Premier League sides with our set pieces. But a good delivery and a good header from Norgard.
Yeah, it was Martinelli with the deep cross, wasn't it? But what I found really interesting about this was...
Great finish, young man. Great finish.
Was Christian Norgard deliberately holding back at the far post. He really held out. But what you'll see is the ball's in flight. Kivior kind of blocks off their guy who's looking to backpedal. He sort of blocks his path. Marino sees it and he sort of tag teams it. So he deliberately gets in his way. So as they're trying to recover their positions, they can't get to Norgard. And to his credit, he keeps his eye on the ball.
It's a great header.
Yeah,
I mean, you know better than most people, having been a professional for Arsenal yourself, but even though it's a clear header, there's no one in sight. It's still, bending a little bit towards goal. How difficult do you think is that actually to just send it right in the bottom corner?
Well, he's got a long time to wait, hasn't he? He's seeing it in the air. He's waiting it. I mean, am I in the right position? It's just concentration, it's technique.
Yeah.
But he's really good at it.
Yeah.
I think in terms of chances from set pieces, last season Christian Norgard was right up there in the Premier League. So he's another asset to us. Absolutely no doubt about that.
Yeah, for sure. And a last word on Victor Gyökeres. So we saw, I mean, there's plenty of movement there, and it's obviously exciting whenever he gets anywhere near the ball.
Yeah.
Everyone just holds their breath and goes, oh, he's going to do something. But I think a little bit maybe unlucky in the first half just to not get the ball as much.
Yeah, look, it's about relationships, playing football. If you're on a team, you need to have a relationship with your teammates, and they're getting to know each other. We don't know what sort of service he wants.
Yeah.
He doesn't maybe know where to move or what our players do. It's just a getting to know you process. He didn't really touch the ball much in the first half an hour, but what we did see in the final 10 minutes of that half, he came alive. And there are a couple of moments he drops inside, has a shot that's goal bound, that's blocked. That gave him a bit of confidence. A couple of minutes later, we give it to him. Brilliant bit of skill. Drops his shoulder.
Yeah.
And when he goes to his right, he then shifts it quickly to his left.
He's confident on both feet.
Yeah, he was really good. And then he sort of helps it into the box. It was a good ball in. So he had a couple of moments towards the end there. Early on in the half, it was like a Neely man, wasn't he?
Yeah.
We got ourselves into good positions here, put balls into the box, and it's always just behind him.
Yeah.
He wasn't quite able to time his runs. And in fairness, it wasn't just Gyökeres, it was the players around him. None of our players seemed to be able to time the way they met the crosses.
Yes.
And again, you want that to happen when the season starts. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm sure in 2 or 3 weeks, the players will be like, their brains will be switched on, and they'll be like, no, I'm going to hold my run. And you just get match sharp.
Yeah.
And that was an example, I think, of a slight lack of match sharpness, not just from him, but from all of the players.
Yeah, for sure. And in this second half as well, which is going to be starting shortly, who do you want to see come on? I mean, there are a lot of new names, there are a lot of older names.
Yeah.
Who do you want to see come on in this second half?
Well, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Zubimendi, so I'm looking forward to seeing him. I want Noni Madueke to come on and make his debut. I'm excited to see what he can bring to the table. Mosquera, obviously, we haven't mentioned him. William Saliba's understudy.
Yeah.
So he looks a really talented player, comes with a good reputation. And, of course, Max Dowman. I think we all want to see him out here on home turf, wow the crowd, because he's got so much talent. And And in every appearance that he's made for us in pre-season, he's elevated the team. He's lifted the mood, hasn't he?
100%.
Yeah.
Is there? Would you like to, with these new players come on? How difficult do you think it is for Mikel, to balance the team with, for example, we know Victor Gyökeres, once he's fit and once he's kind of comfortable with the team, he's the main guy up top. But do you want to almost keep him on to then mix with the new players he's going to bring on, or do you want to give him a rest?
It's a tough one. It's a really hard one to juggle. In an ideal world, he'll want the midfield that's on the bench at the moment to have a bit of game time with Victor Gyökeres. Of course he will, because that's the. You're talking about relationships. He wants a big relationship with Saka and Martinelli, but also with Odegaard, with Rice, and with Zubamendi, and so far
maybe even Havertz as well.
Absolutely. So it's a hard one, and that's why Mikel gets paid the big bucks, isn't it? So look, he's got to kind of keep a lot of the players happy on the bench as well that need a bit of game time. So I actually think we'll see quite a lot of changes tonight, less so against Athletic Club Bilbao.
And I think we've seen over the last 2 years as well that in order for us to compete on all four fronts as we want to do, you need, as we say, two absolute top quality strikers in every single position. So
look, Havertz will get plenty of game time. They'll rotate a bit, and sometimes they might play together, which would be very exciting.
Yeah, amazing. Well, thank you so much, Clarkey. Time to bring you guys back to the live match footage and the commentary from Max Jones and Perry Groves. Enjoy.
Thank you for sticking with us. Welcome back to Emirates Stadium. Arsenal looking to get back on top in this tie. 2-1 Villareal lead. Arsenal have made two changes at the interval. Ben White and Christian Norgard, the Arsenal goal scorer, have both been replaced by Christian Mosquera and Martin Zubamendi. So two of the Arsenal new boys coming on. Meanwhile, for Villareal, changing midfield. Danny Parejo, 26-year-old legs, able to do the first 45 minutes. He's been replaced by Santi Comesaña. Perry Groves still alongside me as he was. What do you think the substitutions at half-time will do for Arsenal?
Well, I just think, obviously, trying to get some sort of understanding down the right-hand side. Mosquera playing in the right-back position. Obviously, normally he'd probably prefer play as a centre-half, but just getting him into like the philosophy of Mikel Arteta, you know, and the team shape and the patterns. And Zubamendi coming on just to see if he can get that bit more control in the centre midfield area, which we really didn't have in the first half. To be fair, it was Pat Gay and Pereira will sort of run in the show in there after about 20 minutes. So we know with Zubamendi how he likes to play in that centre midfield area where he's like the conductor, you know, where he just gets the ball, moves it on very quickly. 9 times out of 10, he tries to move it forwards.
Also has a decent scoring record against Villareal of all teams. He's only scored 10 goals in his career, I should say. 2 of those have come against the Yellow Submarine. Give you. Martinelli, Skelly's moved into a much more central area and he's able to get around Comesaña. Slightly behind Martinelli, who does have the pace to keep the ball in play.
Yeah, good play initially from Lewis Skelly. Said there, just playing in that inside left position, used his body really well, and then just again picked the wrong pass out to Martinelli on left hand side, but he retrieved it really well. Very good at chasing lost causes.
Was another change actually for Villareal. Tejon Buchanan has come onto the pitch. It pushes Nicola Pepe into a more central striking position. Gerard Moreno has also left the field. It's away by Buchanan. Nunez far as Kivior, who will get a second chance at this long throw-in. Santiago Mourinho is the player down. Took a bit of a sore one on the lower back. Zubimendi. Neri busting past Malero.
Seeing Miles Lewis Skelly again in that midfield area, just trying to give us more of an overload.
Cleverly shifting the ball away from Nicola Pepe to win the free kick is Mosquera. Now Neri. Mosquera going for the overlapping run. Neri only use him as a decoy. It's a dangerous ball into the box as well, and it's hacked to safety by Rafa Marin.
Really good play from Nwaneri going on the outside. Nice little foot over. Just getting himself to the byline. Again, just like to see Gyökeres get himself across the goalkeeper at the near post. But just looking at his positional play, Gyökeres, it's the archetypal centre forward because he just stayed right in the middle of the 6-yard box.
Scored 39 times in the Portuguese top flight last season. Victor Gyökeres included 16 goals in his first 10 league games of the 24-25 campaign. He was a fast starter. 50 minutes on the clock here. We haven't seen another proper opportunity on goal, but he is one of those players, isn't he, where he only needs one.
Yep. So we've got ourselves into good positions in the wide areas, but the quality of cross hasn't been particularly good. He won't change his positional play and just make sure that he stays central. And his record in the Champions League last year was quite good as well, Max. Because we talk about different levels. I think he got 16-10 in the Champions League.
Bullied Manchester City as well, didn't he? Here's Pepe. Gay. Intercepted by Lewis Skelly. Mosquera. He signed 2 weeks ago, made his debut, of course, off the bench in Hong Kong against Tottenham. Actually played more games against Villareal than he has any other team in his career. On those 5 occasions, he has only beaten them once.
Looking at Villareal,